everyone, Gabriella from Tarot Wonderland here. Thank you very much for joining me. This is our weekly reading for the week of December 12th to the 18th, 2016. And this week I have pulled out the Steel Wizard Tarot. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. You guys are going to love it. And we got a really, really beautiful message this week. I'm going to start doing the readings a little bit differently, slightly differently, by not focusing on the reversals as much. I will show you the reversals that came up, but I'm going to focus on the upright meanings of the cards more, okay? So we're just going to kind of give a little bit of extra attention to the cards that did come up reversed, and I'll show you the kind of difference in the message that we get from both versions of this reading, with reversals and without reversals, okay? So without further ado, let's get on with the reading. The three cards that I drew for our reading this week are Major Arcana number 13, Transition. This would be the Death card in the Rider-Waite deck, Six of Pentacles, and the Fool. Now, when I originally pulled the cards, Transition and Six of Pentacles came up reversed. The Fool was the only card that was upright. So this is just telling us that the messages from those cards are emphasized for us this week. They are kind of particularly important to the overall message from the reading. Okay, so I'm going to start reading all the cards individually, and then I will read them as a whole. So our first card is this beautiful Transition card, or Death card. And this card is all about change. Change is coming. You may have felt recently that you've been in kind of a dark place. On this card, you can see this beautiful nude woman with these gorgeous butterfly wings is emerging from this dark, rocky cave. And I'm not sure if you can see it very clearly, but there is a flower, or it looks like maybe a white rose, above her leg there on the actual rock. And these sunbeams are coming down, and she's looking up. She's looking up towards the light. She's looking up towards these sunbeams. So it's like she's coming out of this dark cave. She's coming out of this dark situation, or this dark period. And she is moving towards this light. This change is possible. Something is changing. Something is transforming. The butterfly wings again symbolize this. Before a butterfly becomes a butterfly, it goes into this cocoon. And it emerges as this beautiful, beautiful butterfly with these spectacular wings. It's this whole new creature. It's graceful. It's beautiful. It is light. It can flutter around and go wherever it wants. And before that, it was this mushy insect that was in this cocoon, in this pupa. And it was changing. It wasn't ready to be what it is yet, but now it is ready. So this card is telling you that you are ready to make a change, much for the better. You are ready to emerge into a new stage of your life. This is possible for you. Now, with the card coming up in the reverse, again, it's telling you that this card is calling your particular attention this week. It's saying you could have resistance to this, okay? Change is beckoning to you. Change is possible for you. Change is needed. This change is needed, but there may be a resistance to it. And when people resist things, it's usually due to some kind of fear, okay? Or call it insecurity, which is just a lesser form of fear, okay? It's a pseudonym for fear, if you will, okay? So don't fight it. Don't fight this change. This change needs to happen. This change is going to be so much for the better. You are going to be in a much better place. You are going to have all new experiences. You're going to progress. You're going to move on to a new stage of your life. But you can't do that if you resist it. You have to be open to it. You have to be accepting of it and move towards it with a really positive attitude. Realize that this change, whatever it is happening for your greater good. It is moving you forward. It is allowing you to have new experiences, and it is letting you emerge from this darkness that you may have been in for a while, okay? Whether you've been feeling kind of depressed, or there's been a situation that you feel you may have been stuck in for a very long time that's been negative, you're coming out of this. This is ending for you. You have a whole new beginning here, whole new possibilities, and it's a beautiful thing. Our second card is the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is about giving and receiving. You can see on this card, this woman has got this basket of pentacles with her. And there's this man who's on his knees, this beggar, and she's giving him one of these pentacles. She looks like this very kind person. She's a very charitable person. She's generous. She's warm-hearted. She wants to help. She wants to help this man. And this is who she is, okay? But the card did come up reversed, so again, this is calling our particular attention this week. You may have felt that one of the reasons, if you've been in kind of a dark place, if you've been feeling kind of down or stuck in a negative situation, it could be because you have felt that you are not getting what you need in your life. You're not getting what you want in your life, okay? And that may be one of the reasons that you were stuck in this kind of darkness. Again, you have to be open to receiving. If you are focusing on the negative and focusing on what you don't have in your life and maybe going over the past and thinking what you have not had in your past, that is the energy that you are going to be attracting. You're going to be attracting more of the same. So you need to be like this woman. You need to be open, and you need to be open to receiving, and you also need to give. It's very important. You need to give as well. It's funny because I've been doing daily draws on my Tarot Wonderland Facebook page, and the card I drew today was from the Gateway Oracle by Denise Lynn. It's an amazing deck. I love it. And it was the Cherishing Yourself card, and it was about being kind to yourself and being good to yourself. And one of the things that it said in the definition of the card was that when your cup is half full, it's difficult to give. And that is so true. If you perceive yourself as having a half full cup, if you are focusing only on what you don't have in your life, you're going to be less willing to give to other people. And that is going to block you. That is going to shut you off from receiving. Okay? You have to be open. You have to have an open heart. You have to have an open mind in order to receive. Okay? And you have to be willing to give, even though sometimes you don't get back. That happens, right? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't give. It has to come from your heart, and it has to come from a genuine willingness to give to others. And when you do that, people are going to sense that energy about you, and you're going to attract positive energy towards you. Yeah, sometimes life is unfair. Sometimes we don't get what we give out. We don't get what we give in equal measure. Sometimes that does happen. But if you focus on that, and if you hold on to resentment about that, you're going to block yourself from receiving. So this is very, very important for us this week. This card, okay, is telling us that we need to be open to give and receive in equal measure. And once we do that, the floodgates are going to open. Our final card is the Fool, and this is so wonderful. These three cards in this reading are literally like an A, B, C kind of story. If you do A and B, you will get to C, and C would be the Fool card here, which is all about optimism and fearlessness and starting a whole new journey. Remember when I said that transition card was about change and moving on to a new stage of your life? This is you starting the journey. So if you can accept change and embrace change and change your perspective, if you have been holding on to resentment or feeling like you haven't gotten what you've given in your life, if you can let go of that and be open and welcoming and willing to start on a whole new path, you are going to have an amazing adventure. The Fool is somebody who is fearless and adventurous and endlessly positive. The kind of person who does not see the negatives. The kind of person who has total faith and belief in himself that things will turn out well and that everything is going to go his way. Now, yes, sometimes this can be kind of a detriment if you're naive and you just magically think that everything is going to go your way. Obviously, that's not the way life works. Things do go wrong. Shit happens, okay? And we need to be ready for those times in our life. However, it is very important to have a sense of faith and optimism and adventure And if you can really embrace that this week, you are going to feel like you're just starting a whole new stage of your life. The possibilities are endless. You could go anywhere, you could do anything. The world is really your oyster. So let me bring all three cards back and sum this up. So what I am seeing here is really, really a beautiful message. What I'm seeing is that there's a whole new possibility available to us, a whole new reality available to us. And some of us have been cut off from that possibility by possibly holding on to sorrow or hurt or resentment about things that didn't go our way. That transition card, it's showing you that you need to leave that behind. If you've been holding on to hurt feelings or resentment about a situation that hasn't worked out the way that you wanted it to, and if you feel like in that Six of Pentacles card that you have not gotten what you've given, maybe in a relationship, maybe you feel like, I've loved this person so much, I've given them everything, and they gave me nothing back, and they betrayed me, or they treated me badly, or whatever. If you've been holding on to that, that's what's been preventing you from embarking on this whole new stage of your life. You need to let that stuff go. You need to accept that it happened. You need to make peace with it. Even though what may have happened to you was very unfair and was wrong, whatever. You need to let it go. You need to let it go. And believe, have faith in the possibility of life being totally different for you, and you're going to be starting a whole new journey, and it's going to be amazing. You're going to just feel like a whole new person, okay? But in order to get to that place, you really, really need to maybe do some meditation or do some inner work about letting go of these things that have been holding you back. I see the Six of Pentacles in reverse as a card of repression or suppression. Suppressing what you want to give to somebody, suppressing what you really feel or what you want to give to somebody as a way of protecting yourself. That's the way you perceive it. It's like, well, this person hasn't given me what I've given them, so I'm not giving them anything either. So you may think of that as benefiting yourself or protecting yourself, but it's actually hurting you, because you are suppressing your natural desires. You're suppressing your natural urges. And whenever you do that, nothing good can come of it. You're only going to block good from coming to you if you kind of take that negative stance, or that negative, if you have that negative belief, like, I'm not going to give because of so-and-so. That's only going to block you. It's only going to prevent you from getting good coming to you. Now, this is not to say that you should ignore if somebody doesn't give you back the love you are giving them in equal measure, whether this is love or finances or whatever it is, because pentacles are a suit of money. That's one of the things pentacles represent. So this could have to do with money, but the feeling I'm really getting from this reading is it's more an energy exchange. It's like you giving love, or you giving understanding or sympathy or whatever to somebody, and they're not giving it back to you. Definitely don't ignore it if you don't get that back in return. And if you feel somebody's taking advantage of you and it feels abusive to you and it feels hurtful to you, obviously that is something that you need to pay attention to. And that is when you need, for your own good, for your own mental health and for your own emotional health, you need to remove yourself from that, because it's depleting you emotionally, it's depleting you spiritually or whatever. That definitely needs to be paid attention to. But don't assume that just because one person in your life or one situation in your life did not give you back what you gave in equal measure, that everything is going to be like that. I think that's a trap that a lot of people fall into. They get so self-protective and they get so worried about being hurt again that they forever kind of enclose themselves and they cut themselves off from other people because of hurt they've suffered in the past. This is what you want to avoid. This is the kind of energy you want to turn around. And I think that's why this card came up in the reverse, is that it's showing that some of us have been holding on to that kind of energy of that, like, I'm going to protect myself by not giving to anybody. And therefore, it's hurting you rather than benefiting you. One of the things that may make you feel better about this situation, whatever it was that has left you feeling sad and resentful and blocked and holding on to stuff from the past that somebody did to you or something that happened, whatever it is, one of the things that can enable you to make peace with that and let it go is realizing that that is not your fault. A lot of us blame ourselves when, as crazy as that seems, when we get treated badly, a lot of us blame ourselves for it. And we need to realize that if somebody treated us unfairly or something bad happened to us that was really, really wrong, it's not your fault. It's the choice of the other person involved. And we have no control over that. We have no control over what other people do or how people treat us. And the only choice that we do have is how we react to that and whether we stay in that kind of energy with that person. Okay, we can either choose to leave it behind and say, okay, this is no good for me. This is not benefiting my life. This is not making me feel good. This is not getting me to where I want to go. This is not good for me. This is not healthy for me. You just need to realize that and move on from it. Leave it behind. And without anger, without judgment, just realize this other person, for whatever reason they treated you the way that they did, it's coming from their own experiences, from their own life. And they need to make peace with that themselves. But this is not about them. This is about you. So if somebody has treated you badly or left you feeling like stuck in a situation that's really, really negative, just realize that that was the way they treated you was not a reflection on you. It's a reflection of them. And if you can realize that and really, really understand that, you are going to be able to move on from it. And look at the woman in that transition card with those beautiful butterfly wings. I mean, she is just spectacular. That could be you. That could be you emerging from this dark place with this beauty about you and this positivity about you and faith and belief that things are going to be different and things are going to be so much better. So guys, I hope that resonates with some of you, and I hope that it helps. I hope you enjoyed the reading. It's a really, really beautiful message. Really beautiful message here. There's a whole new reality possible for us. You can literally map your own journey and do whatever you want to do. But in order to get that, the momentum to do that, and in order to get the energy to do that, you need to leave this stuff behind. You need to just let it go and be open to giving and receiving, whether you get back or not. Let it come from your heart. Once you do that, once you live from your heart and you don't hold back your generosity, you are going to get so much in return, and you are going to be so much happier. So guys, again, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you next week for our next weekly reading. Bye, guys.